Is it true that Kim Taehyung, one of BTS's global icons, was deliberately excluded from the group's comeback plans by their own agency? And is Jungkook's harsh reaction a sign of major internal conflict behind Hybe's stage? This shocking news spread rapidly and shook the international K-pop community. In an internal document that leaked to South Korean media last week, indications surfaced that Kim Taehyung's name, or V, was not included in the initial proposal for BTS's comeback strategy planned for next year. The document, which is currently under verification by investigative entertainment journalists, is believed to have originated from Hybe label's own executive ranks. If this information is true, it could become the biggest scandal to ever shake the relationship between BTS and the agency that raised them. The chronology of this event began when an anonymous informant from within South Korea's entertainment industry revealed that in an internal planning meeting at Hybe, heated discussions took place about the structure of BTS's formation post-military service. What's most shocking is that, according to the source, there was a push from management to focus on a more flexible group concept, a euphemism interpreted by many observers as an effort to reduce Taehyung's presence in upcoming BTS projects. This information triggered outrage among fans, especially after an indirect statement made by Jungkook through BTS's official fan community channel, weverse. In a live broadcast lasting more than an hour, Jungkook, with an emotional tone rarely seen and a visibly angry expression, said, "We all know who BTS really is. No one will be removed. There's no BTS without V." This comment was immediately interpreted as a strong protest against the alleged removal of Taehyung from the upcoming comeback. Jungkook's emotional statement not only trended on social media but also raised serious questions. Is there friction between BTS members and Hybe management? And further, has Hybe started to take a direction opposite to the unity that has long been the foundation of BTS? Digging deeper, Taehyung's exclusion from the comeback planning document became even more suspicious as it coincided with reports of a minor injury he sustained during military training. The injury, according to official military reports, does not interfere with his active duty, yet somehow became an internal agency concern regarding potential performance limitations if a comeback is scheduled next year. However, many see this as merely a pretext. In fact, in a limited interview with a former Hybe creative staff member who now works independently, it was suggested that the real reason is more commercial in nature. Taehyung is one of the members with the strongest solo identity. That's a strength, but also seen as a threat to the group's focus. Some executives see this as a narrative conflict in the comeback branding. He said that in other words, V's strong solo presence and his global achievements, such as collaborations with luxury brands and his solo debut, which garnered international acclaim, are believed to have led certain parties within the agency to feel the need to rebalance the group's spotlight, or even sideline V for what they claim is long-term strategic balance. However, this move clearly isn't without risk. Jungkook's fierce response indicates that the members are not willing to be manipulated into a narrative that disadvantages one another. Jungkook, long known as the Golden Magne, rarely speaks angrily in public. When he chose to say, "Anyone trying to remove a part of us not only doesn't understand BTS, but also disrespects us as human beings," the ARMY community realized the situation was far more serious than a mere creative disagreement. Meanwhile, industry analysts are starting to question Hybe's strategy, which seems to go against the wave of fan-base loyalty. This isn't an era where companies can simply rewrite artist narratives at will. ARMY is a global force that is highly informed and highly sensitive to how their idols are treated, said Kim Sunwoo, a digital media and Korean pop culture observer. The next question is, will Jungkook's move spark a domino effect? Other BTS members, although not explicitly speaking out yet, have given subtle signs through their social media activity. RM, for example, posted a poetic quote about loyalty and unity, interpreted by fans as a form of support for Taehyung. Jimin and Jean were seen liking an old post featuring their moments of unity as a full group, seemingly reinforcing that there will be no reduction in members without consequences. Does this mean HYB no longer sees BTS as their main force, but rather a past chapter that needs to be re-engineered for a new direction? If so, this decision would be a massive gamble that could irreparably damage the trust structure between fans and the company. Now, the hot seat is in HYB's hands. The pressure to provide clarification and transparency is mounting. Yet so far, they remain silent, refusing to respond to any interview requests from both Korean and international media. Meanwhile, the ARMY community continues to unite, demanding justice for Taehyung and reminding everyone that BTS is 7 people, not 6, while the public awaits a response from management. One thing is certain: Jungkook's action has opened a new chapter in the power dynamic between artists and agencies. This is no longer just about a comeback or marketing strategy, but about dignity, integrity, and mutual trust that have always been the cornerstone of BTS's success. If HYB truly has gone too far, they are now facing the consequences of ignoring one of the most basic principles in modern entertainment: the authenticity and collective power. Will HYB soon issue an official explanation? Or will they continue to stay silent amid this storm of controversy, hoping the issue fades under other news cycles? One thing is clear: the world is watching. And for the first time in BTS's long career, the fundamental question is no longer when are they coming back, but will they still be whole when they do? However, amid the uproar over the possibility of Taehyung being removed from BTS's comeback plan and Jungkook's intense reaction, a fundamental question arises that we should all reflect on together. Did this incident truly happen as described across various social media platforms? Or is this merely a narrative deliberately constructed to attract public attention and evoke emotional engagement from fans? Is it possible that this information has been fabricated solely to generate traffic on platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and others? Or is it true that behind HYB's office walls, a serious and tense internal conflict is unfolding? Why has there been no official statement to confirm or firmly deny the entirety of this issue? Is HYB's silence a communication strategy? Or is it a sign that a truth is being concealed? We must ask, is the narrative about Jungkook being furious merely an exaggerated interpretation crafted by content creators for personal gain? Or is it truly a reflection of a groupmate's anxiety over what is perceived as an unfair decision? Why does the media constantly highlight the emotional side of artists without thoroughly investigating facts objectively? We acknowledge that the information presented in this article is sourced from various channels, including social media and sources that may not be fully accountable. Therefore, the truth of this entire string of information still needs further verification. We invite you, intelligent readers, not to be passive consumers of information. Investigate, validate, and discuss. Are we too quick to believe narratives simply because we are emotionally attached to the figures being reported on? Are we capable of distinguishing fact from manipulation? Now is the time for us as the public not just to be spectators, but also to become critical evaluators. Thank you for reading and thinking with us. Now we leave it to you. Do you believe all of this is real or merely fabrication? How do you verify the information you receive amid the overwhelming flood of digital content? Let us discuss and reflect.